because I have to grow up tomorrow.
Grow up?
Tonight's my last night in the nursery.
No, I won't have it.
But where are we going?
To Neverland. You'll never grow up there.
Hey Shellfans, welcome back to my channel. It's Millie the Mermaid, and in today's video I wanted to talk about Peter Pan syndrome. Now, if you have never heard of Peter Pan syndrome, then let me tell you this. Peter Pan syndrome is defined as a popular psychology term used to describe an adult who has difficulty growing up. Does this sound familiar to you? If you're interested, please stay tuned.
Neverland.
In the well-known Walt Disney classic Peter Pan, the main character Peter Pan wants to remain a young boy forever. In fact, he goes to live with a group called the Lost Boys so that he doesn't have to face the reality of getting older. In 1983, psychologist Dan Kiley wrote the book The Peter Pan Syndrome: Men Who Have Never Grown Up. Kiley refers to adults who refuse to grow up and instead continue to depend on others into adulthood as Peter Pans. Now, the term Peter Pan syndrome doesn't apply to just men, by the way. It's not gender based, even though the term is talking about Peter Pan, who is a young boy, but apply it to just both male or female or just anybody. It could apply to anybody. So just to clarify that. Emerging adulthood is a developmental stage between puberty and adulthood. During this time, young adults are continuing to develop physically and psychologically. They are learning how to separate from their parents, from their own identity, and achieve a level of independence. Those with a Peter Pan complex may resist this process into adulthood. They may struggle with responsibilities that would be expected of their life phase. They can also find intimacy to be uncomfortable and may end relationships when they become too close to someone. Peter Pan syndrome is not an official mental health diagnosis. However, those who use the term usually describe symptoms like avoiding responsibilities, depending on a partner or a parent to make decisions for them, a fear of being alone, problems following through on commitments, trouble taking criticism from others, or changing partners when a relationship becomes too close or too serious. So, like I said, the term is most often used to describe men, but it could refer to people of any biological sex or gender. Because Peter Pan syndrome is not a diagnosis, there has not been much research on its causes. However, some experts believe that Peter Pan syndrome is caused by overprotective parents. It's necessary for parents to support and nurture their children. However, it's also important that children develop the skills they need to thrive as adults. During the teen and young adult years, people need to gradually become more independent and take on additional responsibilities. They also need to learn by failing sometimes. Understandably, parents don't want their children to fail. Yet it's a necessary part of life. Parents who always hover over or protect their children are sometimes called helicopter parents. One study found that young adults with these types of parents struggle to make decisions and handle problems. On the other hand, parents who were supportive but less controlling helped their children succeed. If someone you know exhibits signs of Peter Pan syndrome, there are steps that you can take to help support them in becoming more independent. First, you could educate yourself on mental health and treatment options. Next, you can use I statements, such as expressing your concerns, such as "I get frustrated when I have to clean up after you." Another is avoid judgment and blaming. Remind them that getting help is a sign of strength, not weakness. And then help address any barriers to getting treatment. To be honest, I never saw the hype in becoming an adult because from my perspective, I have such a great childhood, by the way. That's a lot of the reason why. But I just felt like most of your time as an adult is spent by handling your responsibilities and working to earn a living, which it could go both ways. Either it could be really draining or really fulfilling. So I feel like there's two sides to every coin. And the adults that I saw around me, it just didn't seem like they were enjoying their work and their careers. They were just doing it just to just for money, you know what I'm saying? And I just heard a lot of, oh my gosh, I can't wait to retire. I can't wait to retire. So in my mind, I was thinking, okay, so do you not like what you do? Because most adults, I would say, are working and they're trying to take care of themselves, or even they have families to take care of. So it's like, a lot of time is just not free. There's not a lot of leisure and free time. And another reason why I didn't really see the hype in adulting is I just didn't want to physically age. I just didn't want to physically change. I had more energy as a child. I played soccer for 9 years. I ice skated. I had swim lessons. I've done piano lessons. I was a very active child. And, your metabolism, or at least my metabolism, I believe was much higher. And I just feel like I was just more of me as a child. Childhood is such a small portion of your life. If you're blessed to live a long life, childhood is such a small window, a part of this state of life, right? And to me, it was so special. And I have to, like I said, thank my family for that. And, thank everybody who was involved in my life during that time. And although growing up and experiencing childhood, or growing up right now, and experiencing adulthood, it's just taught me how to really articulate my feelings, with my verbiage. I've grown more into understanding that, I could really reflect on myself now. As an adult, I think as a child, sometimes you can't reflect on your actions. Just like Peter Pan was not able to really reflect and articulate what he really feels. He's just like, okay, I'm not growing up. But it's like, why, Peter? Why do you not want to grow up? Like what is the true fear behind that? I think that's something that I wish the film Peter Pan kind of explained more of, just deep diving into what's this real fear of growing up? Are you fearing becoming an adult? And I know the live action film kind of talked about I think it did talk about how Peter said that he, just didn't want to become a man and just have all these responsibilities. If that's why, then I totally get that. But in the end, I think I will always have a youthful spirit. I still tune into my old TV shows and animated films I grew up with as a kid, because it makes me happy. So I kind of engage in things that were a part of my childhood, because it's like therapy for me, and it's a way for me to escape the stress of my life now, because as an adult, you gotta really learn how to juggle and really try to balance your life out as much as possible. And sometimes it's really hard to do, and it's not always taught either at school or at home. So it's almost like you have to teach yourself how to navigate life sometimes. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought of today's video. Let me know if you relate to Peter Pan syndrome, or you know someone who has it, or if you even have it. It's okay. We all go through these things sometimes. Please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll catch you all next time. This is Millie the Mermaid.